Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633, and today I'm bringing a review of the Star Wars The Force Awakens 4-inch, or known as the 3.75-inch line for Star Wars The Force Awakens Assault Walker with the limited edition Stormtrooper. Now, it's called the Sergeant Stormtrooper in the box, and I have to admit the design looks pretty cool. It's really reminiscent to some of the older Stormtrooper designs we had back in the day, similar to like the Sand Troopers and all that, due to the shoulder crest piece that it has as well. Anyways, we'll take a look at the box, which has a very nice artwork, which I really enjoyed the artwork they're putting on a lot of the Force Awakens toys in today. Now, I understand the articulation of the figures are not the best in the world by any means, but I still enjoy the fact that they're doing the best they can for what they have, and the vehicles work pretty well as the box art as well. On the back it shows pretty much the contents of the box, including a promotion with a few other figures in the line and so on. Side it shows another picture of a clone trooper, which looks, oh, not clone trooper, but stormtrooper, which looks really nice. Then that's pretty much it for the box alone. The contents of the box, obviously, is one stormtrooper figure, his blaster, technically the shoulder crest piece, which I'll get to in a minute, and the actual walker itself. Articulation of the walker includes a single joint on both sides here, and another joint here for the feet. So as you can see, although the articulation might not be the best, it can at least give a somewhat walking position when moving around on the parts. So just to show, as you can see, you can do the bending position, but you kind of need to play around with it in order for it to stay in place. It does also have a movable turret system, which looks really nice. It should go literally in all directions, so that's pretty cool. It doesn't have any missile firing gimmicks and so on, so it's pretty generic for a vehicle for the $20 price point, but I still enjoy for what it is. Just to take out the Stormtrooper here to show the inner contents of the walker. As you can see on the back, it does have a really nice, if I can get the figure to stand, okay there. It does have a really nice antenna design, and as you can see, it's got this really nice camo that go all throughout the body of the vehicle, so that's really nice. And it works pretty well as a standard walker vehicle in the movie. Now, obviously, the movie has not aired yet, so I don't know much about how this vehicle is going to function, but just looking at the way that the older walkers worked and so on, you pretty much get the main idea how this will function. Looking at the Stormtrooper itself, as it says on the box again, just to remind, it's Sergeant Stormtrooper. It's pretty cool. Articulation-wise, it's the usual old style of 5 points articulation, which is a bit of a shame, but I personally don't think it's too bad when it comes to figures that come with vehicles, since most likely they're just going to be on these type of vehicles anyway. Now, for this kind of thing, it would be a little better, I guess, for more articulation on the figure, but it is just in the walking position, so there isn't a whole much you can do there. So it is in a ball joint, so it allows full movement, so you can see there. And the head does pop off, so if you just take off the headpiece and attach it, technically it just goes back to the regular Stormtrooper, minus, I think, if I remember correctly, the regular Stormtroopers do not have the little piece there. So just to put this back, he does have an ability to store the gun, but we're going to take a look at the gun first. Okay, if it could stand. I don't know why he's having a hard time standing on this type of surface. Other figures seem to do pretty well. I think his figures are a bit warped, so I think that's causing stability issues. There you go. It does look really nice, and it's actually fairly well detailed for the scale of figures in hand here. You can store it on the side of his leg here, but unfortunately, just by the way it is designed, since it is made of that soft rubbery plastic, it does have a tendency to pop off. So I like to keep it off just to be sure, and I wish there was a little bit more secure there. But otherwise, you can take the gun and put it into his hand. And it does fit in pretty well with no major issues, so that's good that at least it does fit in there. But it does fall off, as you can see there. Anyways, the figure itself is pretty decent, even though it has very limited articulation. I think the sculpt looks really nice, and the vehicle is pretty cool for what it is. For a $20 price point, it's understandable why many fans might think they don't really get much for the money that they paid for, but I personally think the vehicle is really nice, and I really like the deco that they gave to the vehicle. If this vehicle doesn't really suit you, there is a desert version that's released as an exclusive. I forgot exactly which store it's exclusive to, but it's still pretty cool for what it is. Other than that, I think they're doing pretty good for the 3.75-inch scale for figures, for vehicles. However, I do see that the X-Wing might not be the best, and I'm kind of going to avoid it unless this goes on sale. we'll be getting some of the other vehicles to do a little review on. But other than that, I think this is definitely a worthwhile set for Star Wars fans. And it's understandable why some older fans might not really like it. But anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hirotaku and the Getting On blog for all your latest in Star Wars news and more. Also check me out on Twitter under DarkOn633. Please check down the other channels below, including the WW Podcast and the various other friends' channels, which I've listed down below. But for now, I'll be back to bring more Star Wars reviews in the future, but for now, I'll be seeing you YouTube. Bye.